All right, so they want the derivative of y. But here's the problem, and some get confused. Man, there's p's and pi's? I like pies better than p's, so I choose the pie. I don't know what for, but I like pie better. But here's a question. Which one's your variable? The pi or the p? I believe it's p, because what do I know? Pi is a constant. It's 3.14 something. So you have to recognize that p is your variable. You're trying to find the change in y with respect to p. So p is your variable. P is like your x, but now it's not x, it's p. Pi is just a constant. So this is going to be a long problem because we have a product. Two things are being multiplied. So how do you take the derivative? Well, I leave the first alone and I take the derivative of the second. But the second is sine of box. Sine of box, sine of some variable. What is the derivative of sine of box? We all know it's cosine of box, p squared is box, times the derivative of box, but the derivative of p squared is just 2p. So that's leave the first alone, take the derivative of the second. Then I leave the second alone, so I'll put it out here. I leave that alone, but then I take the derivative of the first. But the first is box squared. What's the derivative of box squared? Isn't it 2 box to the first? I believe so. 2 box to the first times the derivative of box. What's the derivative of this? Well, pi is a constant. Derivative of that 0. P is like x. What's the derivative of x? 1. What's the derivative of p? 1. So all that's just 1. We're getting there. I'm putting the 2p in front because it's just prettier there. And then I have this. Now you should see 2 blobs, that blob and that blob. I usually want to have my answer in factored form, so I look for things in common. Do they have things in common? Look, they both have a 2. They both have a p plus pi. So I'm going to factor a 2 and a p plus pi out, and what's left? Well, if I take that out and that out, I'm left with p and cosine p squared. So I'll put that there, p cosine p squared. And again, if I take the 2 out and the p plus, whoa, back up, Yoshida, back up. Someone should have stopped me. There was a booger hanging out my nose and you didn't stop me. You should have grabbed the booger and taken it out of my nose. Why didn't you grab the booger? How many of the p plus pi's did I take out? I only took one of them out, only one. There are 2 of them. So if I only took one out, there's still one left. P plus pi, and we still have the cosine of p squared. That would have been bad, bad. So I took this 2 out and that p plus pi out. I'm left with sine p squared. Sine p squared, and I am done. Dunno. If you want to use parentheses instead of the brackets, that's fine. But I'm finished. That was a lot of work. And we have less than a minute left. So that's the last problem. Let me stop this recording.